Hi guys, so we're going to get into the news. We have a lot to cover, so I'm going to try to be as quick as I can. I know when things are long-winded, we don't want to watch it all, so let's start with our news. Okay, so on Monday, we will have our spelling and vocabulary test. So make sure that today is Sunday and you go over the spelling and vocabulary words from last week. An update. I don't know why it says November the 30th, but I will be, oh no, I'm sorry. Yes, that's why it says that. I will be doing the parent-teacher conferences from Monday to Tuesday. Those will be the only 2 days that I will be in this week before progress reports. Parents, if you need to speak with me, if you need to understand what's going on with your children's grades, please go to the Sign Up Genius. I texted to you guys and I emailed it to you guys, and I'm also going to post a copy and remind today if I hadn't already. We have on the 4th, on Friday, don't forget we have pizza, which is $2. If you want to wear jeans, it is $1, and we will have Snack Shack. All items in the Snack Shack are $1. Homework next week is only, you can start your turn pages 51 through 60, which will be due on December 11th. So you might want to go ahead and get those started. And again, it says I'm going to be out from the 2nd through the 7th. The second grade grading policy, we will be going over that in this news report, but those will go out. You will need to get those signed and bring them back to the teachers. So when we give them out on Monday, we need them back by Tuesday. We're going to use them as the child's ticket for recess. So please do not hold up your child's ticket for recess. We need those to be signed stating that you understand the grading policies. And I'm going to go over the grading policies in this video for you guys if you don't feel like reading the whole thing. It is pretty lengthy. And as always, please frequently check PowerSchool. PowerSchool is going to be the best option to stay on top of how your children are doing in school. We can't always stop and call every time your child misses assignment. There's a lot of things that we have to do, especially with this split platform between virtual and face-to-face. So please be your child's best investigator on their grades, because we can't always do that. This week, we will be talking about using pictures to determine the text. We will be comparing 3-digit numbers. We'll be talking about the human body, and we'll be working on the book reports on Monday, which they are due on Monday. Your child will have class time. We are doing it this way because in the future, when we have a book report, this is the first book report that we're doing together. It's an informational book report. We're doing it in the class. The next informational book report will be on their own. They will have to find the book. They will have to do all the stuff on their own. So this one was kind of guided. I am so sorry there was so much confusion about it. Some parents asked for hard copies. It was not meant to be a big thing. The letters will go home on the day we will start their book reports that they will be doing on their own. Okay, and as always, for supporting your child at home, this little note, it says, please encourage silent reading at home each night. If physical books aren't available in your home, students have Get Epic website. It's full of books for them to read. So please take advantage of that. Okay, so here are the vocabulary words and the spelling words for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing there because we have to move on. And now we're going to talk about the rubric for the book report. So instead of getting the book report back, you will get a rubric. I'm still debating on whether I'm gonna send the rubric to the parents virtually, meaning I will have to take a picture of it and email it to you or text it to you, or if I would just have you guys come pick them up, or you can probably have the option to do either or. So what we're looking for the grading. Now remember, this book report is an informational book report. So each one of these numbers at the top are doubled. So instead of 4 points, it's 8 points. Instead of 3 is 6. Instead of 2 is 4. And instead of 1, it's 2. When we do literary book reports later on, like towards the end of the year, these numbers will be just the 4, the 3, the 2, and the 1. Okay, so we're looking for neatness, understanding of the story or the information, following the directions, their spelling, and their grammar. Okay, this is a total of 40 points. Each category has its own points. So for example, for neatness, he can get 4 points. For understanding the story, you get 4 points. But here it's going to be 8, 8, and 8, and 8. Okay? So hopefully we have a little bit better understanding how it's going to be graded. The rubrics will be sent home instead of the book report. The book reports are going to be slowly printed out so we can post them outside of the classroom. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the grading policy. Me and Ms. George felt like it was super important to go over the grading policy with you guys so there will be no confusion going forth in the future. So let's start off with homework. The purpose of homework is for students to practice what they are learning in class and get extra practice on the skills we can't spend as much time on in class. We will not always have math homework, but math homework is worth 5 points and will be graded based upon completion, not correction. The reason for this is we teach the math concepts in class and we practice in class. The math homework is for practice and should not be viewed as mastering a standard or concept. So I'm going to stop right there and explain a little bit what that means. So while we're in class, we have in-class math work. That in-class math work is graded and goes towards their understanding of the standard. When they take homework home is for practice. So the expectation is for you to help them with the homework. But with that being said, you can't say that a child has mastered the standard when they've had help. When we take tests and quizzes and other things like that in that nature, and next year when they get the FSA, they will not be allowed that help. So we can't honestly say that they've mastered the standard. So when parents look at a grade and they see that they've gotten an A on the homework, which they may have had help with, versus an in-class grade, they may have a 1 instead of a 5, and they're confused. The confusion, I'm not understanding it, because when a child has help, that shows that they can master the standard with guidance. Mastery of the standard is an independent thing. So I hope that clears up a little bit of the confusion that's been going on. But it says this is a standard-based school, and students must show that they are able to master the standard. Now let's talk about the Your Turn pages. The Your Turn pages are worth 10 points. The Your Turn pages are summation of what the students have been learning in ELA. It also includes their vocabulary words. So let me stop right there. So in class in reading, we've been learning about pointing out important details, characters, setting. All of those things are usually included in the Your Turn pages. These are things we've already talked about in class. So this is extra practice on those skills that we've already gone over. Now, If your child is struggling in reading, please take your time with the phonics pages. I'm going to stop right there. The phonics pages are really important. They teach about blending sounds and everything that we don't necessarily each week spend a lot of time on. We do spend some, not a lot. If they are struggling in reading, those pages in phonics, and when you see the Your Turn pages at the top, it tells you what skill this is teaching them. Is it writing? Is it reading comprehension? Is it phonics? It teaches them whatever skill that page is connected to. So, and also there is a chart at the bottom. When your child is reading the passages, those passages need to be timed. Okay, if you're reading it for them, that is not helping them. And when we get time to read silently with them, we can tell that they haven't really been working on their reading on those Your Turn pages. The writing pages are actually graded. The writing pages are actually graded. The rest of the assignment is considered practice. We grade the writing pages and leave feedback in hopes to improve their writing. For example, if I give your child their paper back and it says this needs to be neater, they need to practice on spacing, they need to practice on punctuation, good job sounding out the words, but maybe, work a little more on your sight words so you can have more of a word bank to make your sentences with. That type of feedback is important. Next year, they will be working on their write score, where they will be required to write. Writing has been a weak subject. Also, handwriting is no longer a requirement in school, so handwriting must be worked on. If your child turns in the Your Turn pages and it looks like an anagram of letters, I really need you to encourage them to try to write it a little neater. They practice handwriting, I believe, in kindergarten. And then after that, it's, expected for them to, as they write, to get stronger in their words. A lot of our kids' writing is not where it should be. So the writing pages are actually graded and feedback is given. So grading points for homework goes: math, 5 points, and they're considered practice points per week for all homework assignments. Meaning, if they have a 5-page homework assignment and they only do 1-2 pages, that's only 2 points. So you can't say that, they did some of them, why is the grade bad? So each one of those 5 pages would be worth a point. Make sense? So if they're missing a point, they will not, if they're missing a homework assignment, they will not get the full credit for that math homework for that week. The Your Turn pages are 10 points worth of practice. Why is it worth more? The writing part is actually graded. The other part is 5 points worth of practice, meaning they have to complete all of those pages to get the full credit. If they are missing a page, then the points go down for the practice. Then if they didn't do that well in the writing, the points will go down for the writing. Does that make sense? If your student does not turn in the homework for the week, they will receive a 0 for the week that it's due and will not have the opportunity to make up the assignment after the assignment is past due. The reason for this is a standard-based school. When we're going over the standard, the homework goes along with the standard. Once we have passed that, we're on to something new, and they need to be working on the supplements to go along with that standard. When you start mixing and matching more than already has their attention split, that is too much, and we cannot guarantee that they're actually learning the standard. iReady blue and green lessons in Lexia. Students are expected to complete 2 green Math lessons, not just do them, but you have to do them and pass them. 2, I-Ready green math and reading each week. I-Ready blue lessons are assigned for extra instruction and extra practice. So if, for example, this week, we're talking about how pictures go along with the text. If I see that the students are kind of struggling with that, I will assign an I-Ready blue lesson. That blue lesson will then reteach them the standard that they are going over in class. So they are expected to finish it that week. Just because they finish it does not mean they pass it. But you can look at where your child is with that standard when we assign the blue lesson. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so it says blue lessons are assigned for extra instruction and extra practice. Students are expected to complete Lexia minutes each week. The times needed in Lexia may vary month to month. So if Lexia sees that the class, it kind of tweaks the timing. Right now, my class is doing 60 minutes, and Miss George's classes, I believe, is doing 40 minutes. This is an important part down here. I-Ready lessons cannot substitute grades. This is a standard-based school, and students must display mastery of a standard to get a passing grade. I-Ready is specific to your child's learning to help build areas in which they are weak. I-Ready green lessons do not teach the second grade standards necessarily, and they therefore cannot substitute grades. So let's say that your child right now in math is on a high first grade level. They're going to teach the itty bitty standards that that child needs, the itty bitty lessons that that child needs to build them up to where they need to go. Because this is a standard-based school, a lot of the online people are doing tons of I-Ready green lessons and not doing any work and saying, well, see, they were doing this. Can't that count? It cannot. This is a standard-based school. I can't stress enough. Moreover, the I-Ready lessons are expected to be done, their minutes per week. Once that week is passed, you can't do a whole bunch of I-Ready lessons to make up past weeks. They are due within that week. So if you have to go out of town, if your child and you are somewhere else, you know that they still need to complete those green lessons and they still need to complete those Lexia minutes. Okay? It says 2 I-Ready green lessons in math are considered mastery, but they're only worth 5 points. 2 I-Ready in reading are considered mastery, but they're 5 points. I-Ready blue lessons are 5 points worth practice, and Lexia is worth 5 points worth practice. And once again, it says at the bottom, I-Ready and Lexia minutes have to be completed each week. You cannot make up, these lessons. Okay, the CMAs. Each time your child finishes the unit in reading and in math, they're expected to complete the CMA. If you do not complete the CMA the day it is due, you are in jeopardy of failing an entire unit. The CMA is the test. So all the standards that we've been going over for X amount of time are compiled into a test. They cannot show that they mastered the standards on the test. How can I pass them for that unit? Does that make sense? Also, if your child is going to be absent for the CMA, you need to speak with me and speak with Ms. George, find out a time that we can schedule them to take the CMA. It is not okay when the CMA is due and your child takes it and we see that they spent like 4 hours on it, what day we don't know, and we get the grade, give them the grade and it says they passed the unit. Then they're still failing, and then you ask us, well, why are they failing? What's going on? And I don't know if they got help or if they looked online to get the answers or what they did to pass the CMA, but it clearly does not show that they've mastered the standards. And that's beyond our control for the online people. But it does not do your child a favor if you're helping them on the CMAs, because when we do go back face to face, their grades will plummet. So please make sure you are not assisting them on the CMAs. If they need extra help on mastering a specific standard, we need to know. Okay, book reports. Book reports will be announced and explained upon the announcement. Book reports cover several standards. So when we're doing an informational book report like this, it is worth 40 points. Why? Because it covers standards in social studies and covers several standards in language arts and reading. So it is worth 40 points. When we just do like a book review, book report, it's only worth 20 points because it's only covering those standards in reading and language arts. Science and social studies. So, assignments in science and social studies are often assigned in EPIC, in RAS Kids, and in BrainPop. If your learner cannot log onto these apps, please speak to their teacher immediately. Guys, a lot of their grades in these areas are going down, and then when we get to you guys, you're like, well, they can't log in. Well, it's very important that you understand that their science and social studies grades, a lot of the assignments are housed there. So if they can't get in, you have to let us know so we can help you. And they have to, the kids at home have to have a login sheet or something to make sure they can log in to these apps. Okay? The readings are usually worth 5 points and the quizzes are usually worth 10. Spelling and vocabulary. Students are given 2 weeks with their spelling and vocabulary words. Please practice with your learner at home. The grading points. It's 5 for the spelling, 5 for the vocab. So on the test is worth 10 points. So you're going to sign and date this and send it back, give it back to us. I hope this clears up a lot of the confusion that has been surrounding grades so that we can finish this year strong.